All right, let's see if you were able to fill out your table and graph your function. If I plug in a 0, so instead of x, I put a 0 right here. That gives me 0 minus 1, which is -1. So my first ordered pair, let me change the color so I can see the graph better, is 0, -1, which is right here. Next, instead of x, I put a 1 in its place. That is 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. My next ordered pair is 1, 1, which is here. And finally, 2. Instead of x, I put a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. My last ordered pair is 2, 3. If I connect those points, remember, lines are long and have arrows. Yes, this is linear. Yes, the function is linear. They didn't ask me for a reason, so I'm not giving them one. But if you want to, the graph is a straight line. If you wanted to find slope 3 ways, you could, and you would get a slope of 2. I think we have one more practice problem, and then you're going to do your exit ticket. Okay, we've got another one with a missing number. So hopefully you remember what I did last time, but let's see. They're telling us it's linear, okay? So what do we plug in for n to keep it linear? What do we plug in for n so that the rate of change stays the same? Well, we've got more points this time. Last time they only gave us 3. This time we have 4. So we're going to find the slope twice by starting here. First slope. You know I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do this x1, x2, y1, y2. There's integers, whatever. I'm not going to fall for that trap again. I'm going to use the integers. I have to because I don't want to get messed up. So I have -2 minus -10. And then I have x2 minus x1. Minus a negative means plus. So I have a -2 and a +10. Together that makes +8. 5 minus 9 is -4. 8 divided by -4 is -2. I'm always going to write my slope as a fraction. So I have -2 over 1. I'm going to switch colors here. And I'm going to use my next 2 points, which would be these two. So now this will be x1 and this will be x2. This will be y1 and this will be y2. So for slope number 2, I get 6 minus -2 over 1 minus 5. This means add. I get 8 over -4 again. So I have -2. So my slope needs to be -2. So now I'm going to figure out what do I need to plug in for that n to make sure my slope is -2. So I'm going to use these points here. I'm going to call this one, sorry, it's getting crowded. This is now my x1 and my x2. This is now my y1 and my y2. My slope number 3 is n, I don't know what it is, -6 over 0 minus 1, okay? And I know what the slope needs to be. The slope needs to be negative, and it needs to be 2 and 1. 0 minus 1 gives me the negative already, okay? So let me move that so it's not confusing, okay? It has to be negative. I've already got my negative down here, okay? So I need my numerator to be +2. So what minus 6 equals +2? 8. N equals 8. Answer the question. For the table to be linear, for the table, not to be linear, sorry, I'm getting lazy. For the table to represent a linear function, For the table to represent a linear function, it says explain. So I'm going to kind of explain and then I'll put my answer. The ROC needs to be constant. Which is -2/1. I plugged in into the equation. I plugged in into the slope formula. And got n minus 6 equals 2. So n has to be 8. I explained it a little bit more this time because the steps were easier than the last one. But as long as you told me that you plugged it in or whatever your thinking process was to find n, you may have solved the equation. Just tell me what you did and that will be sufficient. That's it. It's time for the exit ticket. Take your time, show your work, use your notes if you need them, and that's it.